Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope you're having a fine day. Okay, I got a little bit of news here. This is probably not a very interesting video, but for you fidget spinners, it, it might be good news, okay? Here is what I believe to be the proper way to take care of fidget spinner bearings. Because when I first got into this business of fidget spinners, being an old retired mechanic like I am, I knew doggone well one of the key things to these spinners, no matter about the bodies, the materials, the shapes, and blah blah blah, was those doggone bearings. And I run many tests. I used lots of different ways to clean the bearings, lubricate the bearings. I am absolutely convinced, ladies and gentlemen, that making those bearings as clean as you can get them is paramount, way over lubricating. And matter of fact, lubricating in this application with this small bearings, lubrication, oils, and grease and all that kind of stuff is absolutely taboo. Absolutely not necessary. You want a clean bearing, as clean as you can get it. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, when I first got this fidget spinner from Hot Innovations right here, I could barely get 2 minutes out of this guy, some spin time. And I raised all kinds of cane with Hot Innovations, and come to find out it just had a dirty bearing in it. Because once I developed this little formula that I'm going to show you, this little system I'm going to show you, I took a spinner that wasn't even getting me 2 minutes of spin time, meaning this guy right here, and turned this into a 5-minute spinner. I thought for sure I had a bad bearing, but I didn't, okay? That's just one example. This guy right here, this no-name spinner, this is when I first got this is about a 3-minute spinner on the run time, okay? Now I'm getting over 6 minutes. It's just that simple. And I'll do a review on some of these spinners here, but that's not what I'm here to do. This I Love Fidget spinner right here, this, coming out of the box, this is an 8-minute spinner, if you will. Using my system, my little cleaning system I'm getting ready to show you, I went from 8 minutes to 9 minutes. I ran many tests. 2 weeks worth of, 2 weeks off and on, ladies and gentlemen, 2 to 3 weeks actually, of fooling around with it to get this system right, of cleaning bearings. So you just got to trust me on this, because I did this. I actually did this amount of experimentation so I could get this right. Okay, you only need, I wanted to make this so that anybody could basically use this system with just simple household products instead of using fancy greases, oils, WD-40 and all. I don't use any of that kind of lubrication. It's just not necessary. Lubrication on bearings is only necessary to keep heat down when a bearing is running for a long time, like say what's in cars or industrial applications. I know. I was a mechanic for many years. I know that. But in this type of an application, with these little hand spinners, these stress reducers, autism gadgets and attention gizmos and stuff like that, it's just not necessary to gum your spinner up. Okay, what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, I got a little shot glass here. I purposely got this little tiny glass to show you how easy this is. What you want to do is take some isopropyl alcohol. You see where it says 70% there? The other 30%, 70% of it's ETOH or alcohol, 30%, the inactive ingredient in this jug right here is water. And this will cost you about $1.50. And most people got rubbing alcohol anyway. Okay, you don't have to measure any of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but just take and pour you off about 2 tablespoons in there. I actually got way too much there, and actually I knew I'd start fumbling around here. But, put you about 2 tablespoons in there, okay? And then, where did this other guy go? Right here, white vinegar. You can get a whole gallon of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. for about $3. And if I didn't think I just got done saying it, that alcohol right there cost you $1.50 or something. But this is just white vinegar, and put about a tablespoon, if you will. Let me set this down here. Put you about a tablespoon in there. Or if you have a hard time remembering, do it 50-50 mix. Because these are both really good cleaners, if you will. And by the way, alcohol and vinegar, as some people may not know, are very close in chemical composition. Oh, they are. Okay, let me set this aside for just a second. You're just going to need a couple other things. That's a paper towel, a pen, if you will, and some compressed air. But make sure that this is mixed up, but it doesn't really matter because it'll mix itself relatively well. But let me set this aside for just a second. Let me take this spinner right here, this I Love Fidget double bar spinner, and I'll remove the bearing. And there's the retaining ring right there, okay? I'm just going to screw this bearing right out of here. Bear with me, please. Remember, I just mixed up some white vinegar and some rubbing alcohols all. You don't have to be, I would say use a little bit more alcohol than the vinegar, but, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist with any of this. Okay, here you go. Let me spin this guy out of here like this. Okay, let me set this aside. Bearing fell out of my hand. Here's a little bearing right here. This so happens to be an R188, but it's a solid stainless steel bearing. But this will work on the 606 and 608 stainless and hybrid ceramic bearings. A ceramic bearing was what was in that Hot Innovations spinner I just showed you. But anyway, just take your doggone bearing like this, okay, and put it in a little in this glass of ETOH, meaning alcohol and vinegar, like that. And you could let this set in here for a whole week, and I'll guarantee it wouldn't hurt it. And no, it isn't going to cause rust, and no, it isn't going to eat up anything. I've tested this on those hybrid ceramic bearings. I've tested it on a lot of things, and this works really, really good. But just take and, you know, swish it around. You know, I should have probably used a little bit bigger of a glass, but I wanted to use this little smaller of a glass right here, you know, so I wasn't, you know, really probably should have used just a little bit bigger of a glass. But you could even put this little mixture I just got done talking about in a film canister or something. But you want to stir it around a little bit, you know, and of course, naturally, I'm spilling the doggone stuff. I wish now I would have used a little bit big, but swish it around, you know, and minimum time you probably want to let it sit around is about 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes to anywhere from 2 days, because it's not going to hurt the bearing, any of these bearings. Okay, take you a simple pencil or a pen like this, okay? Fish your bearing out, you know. You see what I did there? Now, the only other thing you need is a piece of cloth like this, kind of tamp the, you know, pat the bearing dry, if you will. If you don't have any compressed air, it's no big deal. It's probably not totally necessary, but I played around with a lot of stuff. Trust me on this. Look at that bearing spin if you can possibly see it. Let me do that again. You might even be able to hear that bugger really spinning. This is already clean, so she's still spinning there. Just a little shot of compressed air. And let's say you don't have any vinegar, straight alcohol work. Let's say you don't have any alcohols, white vinegar or straight white vinegar work, and you can just blow your bearing out if you don't have any compressed air. But I would do what I'm telling you to do or asking you to do because it works. It just simply does. Okay, then you just put your bearing back in here. Simple as that. screw your little retaining ring back in here. But I'm sure glad the ring went in there good, so I'm not sitting there fumbling around all day. But I hope you're catching on to what in the world I just got done saying. This is not rocket science. Don't make this very complicated. Just make a little tiny mixture of white vinegar and rubbing alcohol and soak your bearing in it, blow it out with compressed, pat it down with a towel, and blow it out with compressed air. And there you are. And you will absolutely increase the time on your spinners. You know, because like I say, once I got into this world of spinners, being a retired mechanic, I knew setting aside stuff like body shapes and what the spinner is made out of and blah, 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 and all this other kind of stuff. I knew that the number one thing was bearing maintenance, and it's turned out that you need a bearing that's clean, not lubricated. And by the way, while I'm thinking about this no-name spinner right here, this guy right here has a bearing that doesn't even come out, and it's a tungsten bearing that's in here. And if I forgot to say it, this hot novation, it's got one of the older bearings, a 606 ceramic stainless steel races, and ceramic balls, 9 of them in there. But it works on all these bearings. Well, I just got done showing you. It will increase. In a lot of these spinners, you'll get a couple more minutes, if not even double your time, if you do just what I said here. No kidding. This guy right here, like I say, I'm getting 9 minutes out of this spinner. You know, I'm getting somewhere around 6 minutes out of this spinner. And this guy right here, like I say, I got to apologize to Hot Innovations because raised a little bit of cane with him. This guy right here, I was getting less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes on this guy, but now I'm getting 5. And all it was, I thought for sure I had a bad bearing. It was just a dirty bearing. If you can't remember anything I said in this video, just remember, use the kindest, simplest way that you can think of to clean your bearings. Don't soak them in oil or any of that crap. Okay, that's all I want to say. And happy fidget spinning. See you on down the trail.